You had come here a few months ago with a set of problems looking for a solution. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I had throat issues with my lymph nodes would swell up, would hurt, had ear issues, and then also reflux-like symptoms.
And how long had you had those symptoms?
Probably a little over 2 years.
And what other things did you do for those symptoms during that 2-year period?
Well, I initially, towards the beginning when I started experiencing those things, I went to my general doctor.
Practitioner, yeah?
Yeah, general practitioner, and he found, I think at the time I had a sinus infection and this and that, and he treated me for, put me on, I don't remember what he put me on, but he put me on some...
Antibiotics?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, I felt a little better, but the symptoms came back. I had mentioned to him about the lymph nodes swelling up and things like that, and he gave me like kind of concerned look, and he took, you know, put me on antibiotics and told me to exercise a little more too, and which of course we can all do. Didn't really schedule a follow-up visit with me or anything like that. Went on, felt a little better for a little while. Symptoms came back. I visited him again, probably a couple months later, let him know, and he didn't. He said, "Well, I don't think it's anything to be overly concerned about," and that was kind of. So I thought, okay, it's nothing to be concerned about, so I lived with it. I was also experiencing fatigue during that time as
Part
well.
of that too.
Yeah. I thought it was just getting older and just working too hard, and maybe my diet wasn't as good as it should be, and things like that. So during that time I also went to, probably about a year later, went to another general practitioner doctor, and he ran some kind of test. He said, well, your blood work looks relatively normal, but didn't put me on anything, I don't think. But he's like, you're all right, you know. And I said, but I'm still not feeling well. I didn't get any result out of it. It was kind of, you know, you visit and he checks you up. I was more concerned that I had something like along the lines of cancer or something, because I had the fatigue that I was
That's
feeling.
how you felt.
Yeah, kind of what he checked was that. And he says, no, he says, you're just fighting cold, you're this or that or whatever. So goes on. The fatigue got worse. The symptoms got more frequent, and then on top of that, the sinus infections, which have been chronic through most of my life, were getting worse and more frequent. So on my wife's recommendation, I came and saw you.
It was back in February, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's now April.
Yep.
And we did some testing, found that you had an active viral illness as well as some allergies. And we've treated both of those things now. It's been about a month or two. How do you feel now?
Well, the antiviral made a big difference. At first, when I first started taking it, it didn't seem to make much of a difference, but now we're at the end of the cycle with it, and I've not had symptoms for really about 2 weeks.
So your swelling in your neck has gotten better, your sinus symptoms have gotten better?
Normally at this point of the year with my allergies, seasonal allergies and things, I would already have had a couple sinus infections going on.
I see.
So I would say it's gotten better. I still have some drainage and some things, but part of that too is that with the food allergies, I'm not completely off of everything I need to be off of.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when you do find a way not to eat some of those foods you're allergic to, you feel better as a consequence?
Much.
Much?
Much. With the gluten, I didn't notice it at first, but I stayed off of gluten and stayed off of everything for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and that's where I really noticed, somewhere during that time, I really noticed a difference. And so now I unfortunately still cheat a little bit on gluten, but I can tell immediately feeling-wise with some of the other allergies and things too. When I eat those, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't eat those. That's when I'll have an instance of the reflux and the feeling like got a burp and can't, things like that. Definitely think that's food related, and it was a good thing, because I didn't even think we were going to run an allergy panel or anything like that. So I'm glad that we caught that.
All right, well, thanks again for talking with me today.
Absolutely.